Here are the top 10 best players from the 2023 AFL season. At number 10, we got Port Adelaide's Connor Rozee. After a breakout 2022 season, which earned him his first All-Australian jacket, he backed it up with a brilliant 2023 season. Not only he was able to find the football, averaging just under 26 disposals a game, he was also good at finding the scoreboard too, with a 3-goal game against Essendon and then scoring 2 goals in 4 occasions. Rozee's 2023 season earned him his second All-Australian jacket. Just recently, it was announced that Rozee has signed an 8-year contract extension that will keep him at the club to the end of 2032 season, and has also been made Port Adelaide's new captain. At number 9 is Brisbane Lions' Lockie Neal. It was a good year from the midfielder, who helped guide Brisbane Lions to a grand final berth. Consistency and his work around clearances earned him his second Brownlow medal, despite not making this year's All-Australian team. He did get a lot of 30-plus possession games, and you can see he did have a lot of 10-plus clearances in these games too, which showed his worth for the Brisbane Lions. At number 8, we've got Adelaide Crows' Jordan Dawson. After being assigned the Crows captain for 2023, he repaid the club by having a stellar season, which earned his first All-Australian jacket. After playing the 2022 season predominantly off half-back, the club decided to move him into the centre bounces to become a full-time midfielder, and it paid dividends with an amazing season. Able to win his own footy and show off his kicking skills, which is his strength. This helped the Crows being the number 1 scoring team in the AFL. It was an amazing first season as captain, and the club and the fans will be hoping that he'll be doing the same in 2024. At number 7, we've got Sydney Swans' Errol Goulden. After a couple of good seasons to start in the AFL system, this season in 2023, Errol Goulden took it to the next level. Playing as a wingman and going into the midfield for centre bounces, his kicking ability was on show for the Sydney Swans, and he was able to get his own footy, which earned him his first All-Australian jacket, and coming very close to winning his first Brownlow medal. Number 6, we've got Melbourne's Christian Petrarca. One of the superstars of the competition, was able to produce another great year. This included being named the half-forward flank in the All-Australian team and taking most of the midfield minutes as Clayton Oliver was recovering from his hamstring injury this year. But he did go forward and did kick some goals for the Demons when they needed him to. It was another great year for Petrarca, and the club will be hoping that he'll be doing the same in 2024. At number 5, we've got Carlton's Charlie Curnow. The forward earned his second Coleman medal after kicking 81 goals in 2023 and also earning his second consecutive All-Australian jacket. He did kick a lot of goals, including 19 goals against West Coast Eagles in 2 games, and then against North Melbourne and Collingwood he kicked 6 goals in those games, and then 5 goals against Geelong and Gold Coast. The Blues did make a preliminary final and nearly made it to a grand final. They'll be looking to go the next level in 2024, and if Charlie Curnow can kick similar goals to what he did in 2023, they can come pretty close. At number 4, we've got the Giants' Toby Green. After being assigned captain this year, he repaid the favour with an amazing season with another All-Australian jacket and was named captain of the team, and kicking a few goals for the Giants when they've needed him to in games. With some of the stats, he did have a 5-goal game against the Bulldogs, and he did have 6 games where he did kick 4 goals. Not only was able to kick goals and become a real presence in the forward line, he was able to go in the midfield at times when they've needed him to get some clearances, but predominantly as a forward, always a dangerous player to play against, and every time you needed him to kick a goal, he would do that for the club. Very important player for their team, making their charge to a preliminary final berth, coming 1 point short of a grand final. Number 3, we've got Port Adelaide's Zach Butters. After starting his career playing as a small forward, the club decided to move into the midfield to go with his buddy Connor Rozee, and he was able to go that next level and earned his first All-Australian jacket. The speed and agility of Zach Butters was a bit difficult for some of the opposition, and he was able to produce some stellar performances, including his 41 disposal and 2-goal game against Melbourne, and a lot of games he was able to hit 30-plus possessions. He was able to put Port Adelaide into some finals. Despite being knocked out in straight sets, they will be looking to see if Zach Butters can keep going with that consistency and get Port Adelaide back into finals for 2024. At number 2, we've got Collingwood's Nick Dacos. I wouldn't think there'd be too many players in their second year do what Nick Dacos did for Collingwood. He was absolutely enormous, starting at half-back flank, able to get a lot of the footy of half-back, but then when some injuries happened in Collingwood's midfield, he decided he needed to go into the midfield and then still continue his consistency throughout the season, racking up a lot of the footy. He earned his first All-Australian jacket and came very close to winning the Brownlow. If he didn't get injured right before the end of the season, who knows, it could have been his first Brownlow medal in his second year footy, which would have been unbelievable. And at number 1, we've got Western Bulldogs' Marcus Bontempelli. The Bont had an amazing year for the Bulldogs, despite them not making finals. He was absolutely enormous in the midfield and getting a lot of clearances, and was able to get a lot of the footy as well. His consistency around the midfield and even going up forward to kick some goals with some examples of 2 games where he did have a 3 goals and 32 possession game. He was able to just lead from the front. He did earn another All-Australian jacket and was named vice captain in the All-Australian team as well. He was an absolute superstar, but unfortunately just fell 1 vote short of Lachie Neale in the Brownlow. And hopefully next year for the Bulldogs he'll be able to do the same thing again, and who knows, could win his first Brownlow medal. Let us know in the comments of who you think should be your top 10, or if you agree and disagree with this.